As I've been away filming, I've only been able to play the Switch really, so I've been playing the Switch while I've been on the go, and I've been playing the Switch when I've been coming home, just because it's easy, you know what I mean? You turn on that PlayStation 5 and you're fucking like, I'm going to have to be here for 3 hours playing some big thing, whereas with the Switch you can just come in and turn on something to play. In this case, with your kids, this is a game called Kiwi. And I don't know what I was expecting for this really, but it definitely falls into the school of that overcooked style of thing. I'm just showing you, you know, you play this with 2 players, so that wee red bird up the top right is just going to be standing still just now. But it's a really, really fun, frantic game about working in a kind of mail office in New Zealand or something. You're a wee Kiwi and you're working together to send parcels out, pick up letters. Really, really beautiful design. This game, really fun wee mini game designs. A riot, really loved it. Now, Terra Lander came in a set. You know I love buying my physical Switch games, and Terra Lander came in a set with Terra Lander 2 and what's the other one called? Forgot the name of the other one. Anyway, it comes in a 3-pack. And it's a wee old school game that reminds me very much of Thrust. Do you remember that? A game that I used to love in the Commodore 64. Where you're thrusting about this wee lander, you're doing a bit of shooting, blowing up missile launchers and stuff, and I just really love the old school sensibility of this thing. It's like something you would have played on your Spectrum or your Commodore 64, and it even has that old school sensibility of using the classical music in the back. No, just because it's cheap, but also because it fits that aesthetic of, you know, being an old school blaster. I've always been a big fan of games that are about thrusting against gravity. I don't know what it is. There's something very calming about thrusting about while your ship is getting dragged down to earth, or something I like about it. And this is a really nice wee game. The physical edition was like a tenner or something. I would imagine it's probably on the eShop for like a quid or something like that, but you should check it out, because I think people like you, boring old farts like me, would probably really enjoy thrusting about. Very zen. Been playing this, filming all day, trying to come home and learn my lines, stick on a wee bit of Terra Lander, have a wee float about. Fuel destroyed is a good thing, by the way. I know it looks like I made a mistake there, but it's actually a good thing. Enemies destroyed is a good thing as well. I also like this level's called the Temple, and the level's actually shaped like a big temple, and that's a very old school thing as well, isn't it? That's like a Commodore 64 Spectrum thing. You know, levels named after something that the level is shaped like. I love all that shit. Now, this is Terra Lander 2, which also came in the same pack, and actually, do I prefer this one? Maybe. In this one, you can pick up big rocks with your tractor beams. You have to land and actually let wee people run into you, but you're still doing all the shooting and stuff like that as well, so you're picking up wee people. So this just adds more into the mix. I liked it, but maybe I like the first one the best. And this is Terra Bomber, I believe this is called. This one's rotten. I didn't like this one at all. I didn't like how your bombs work. I feel like you could. It's just rotten. Try to do a defender type thing. The thrust element is gone, and it's just, they just shouldn't have bothered. That's put me in a fucking bad mood, actually. Third game in the pack. Fucking ruined it. Spoiled it. But the other thing I started...
It's been 2 weeks since I received that letter from the Wildberger Hospital.
And the minute you hear Wildberger Hospital, you know something good's going to be happening.
I can't get out of my head the image of those little girls.
This is Tormented Souls, which is a Resident Evil, an old school Resident Evil style, you know, tank control type game. That I picked up for the Switch and started having a wee dabble with it, and well, it just, look at this, right? Where you see this character, where you see this lead character of this game. Here she comes, big build up, right? Because this is going to be worth waiting for. Look at her sitting in this room with her mat. What is she's fucking these gloves that she's wearing in her room? What's she wearing? Like, this is, like, she's not out anywhere. She's not like at a party, or she's just in her, she's dressed like that. Anyway, at the start of the game, she ends up scud naked in a bath with a big pipe shoved down her throat and her eyes being pulled out. There's her bare breasts. Good graphics, as you can see. Pulling a big hang out her throat. Oh, that carry on. I was playing this with my 15-year-old daughter. So that was good. So there's a new horror game you want to have a look. This was the first thing that happened, didn't it? That was good. Aye. Cheers, Da. Here she comes. Gets her clays back on. Realises her eye's been pulled out. It's brilliant. That mirror just popped in there. Cracking. This is on your Nintendo Switch if you want to pick this up. Look at that. Right in her een, look. An empty een. Now this is video games, know what I mean? At this point you're just saying, I hope that she gets to meet some people in this game so we can hear some patter, some dialogue.
What the hell is going on here?
My child, you are pale. What happened to you?
A person in a wheelchair with knives in his hands was chasing me.
Oh, it's you. Don't you remember me? I'm the town priest. We met here in the chapel only a couple of days ago.
What? I'm sorry. I don't remember you. I certainly don't remember coming here before. In this photograph.
I see. What do you want to know about them?
Anything, really. I was hoping to find some leads around here.
I don't know what you're looking for, but I can tell you these girls are no longer with us. There was an incident some decades ago where they disappeared, never to be found again.
That sounds terrifying.
What is the fucking script with this thing, man? Needless to say, I thought it looked cracking. I'll go into it in more detail next episode.
Hi, I'm Albanian revolutionary and writer Musa Demo. This is a bit of a stretch, to be honest.
It's a bit of a nightmare scenario just now because there's so many demos about, but it's hard to get a replacement for Demo Moore. There's surprisingly few candidates out there. Fabula Once Upon a Spacetime is asteroids with some stuff that you didn't think you wanted in asteroids, but maybe you do want in asteroids, like swords. Or there is a laser beam as well, but this is just a demo, obviously. Odd that I was talking about X Out just last month, and I'm getting a wee bit of an X Out vibe off of this. The atmosphere, just the slight weirdness of it. I actually do enjoy, and you might think I'm making it up, but I actually do enjoy it in games when things don't quite seem to fit together, as long as it's kind of nice and feels like it was made by somebody as opposed to a committee. The graphics are fun and chunky.
I wouldn't say that I'm a woman hunter, I'm more a games hunter.
Yeehaw! 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 I'm so self-conscious about doing this in my flat because I don't want anybody to hear me. Yeehaw! 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 Unwording is available on Steam, and the main character in my footage is missing because I came out into the street and he was there, and then I did a puzzle, and when I came out he was gone, and I'm just a ghost walking about the street. I like the ambience and feel of Unwording. I don't really enjoy these bloody puzzles much though. I suspect some of them are broken as well. I am pants. Was that? Where is he? He's not even there. You are poor. Oh, I am poor. I get it now. I'm keeping an eye out for this because I like it. I like the way it makes me feel.
Ludzie niekiedy się podobno zwracali i mówili o jakichś swoich chorobach, bo myśleli, że będą badani. Bo kto myślał coś takiego, że wejdzie gdzieś, zdejmie, idzie do lekarza i nagle dostaje kulę w głowę. Cynizm. Jeszcze świat tego nie widział. Cynizm.
I saw part of a football match on the television a few months ago, and I heard in the crowd a chant of Sieg Heil, and the way it made me feel all the way down my spine and in my heart chest area was extremely unpleasant, chilling and scary. I've for decades now had a borderline unhealthy interest in the history of the Nazis. That is Hitler that you're playing as there, running through shooting all the guys. It's so refreshing and reassuring to see this kind of subject matter being properly handled in a video game. The number dial at the bottom there, if you go to number 1 then the girl puts her clothes back on, but if you go to 5 she's absolutely head to toe covered in Hitler's cum. I always find it a bit distressing when a video game uses Nazism trivially. I remember being so annoyed at that Wolfenstein Young Team game. It's a very fine line you need to tread when you're particularly if you're going to put Hitler in your game. It's a very fine line that you need to tread, and I'm happy to say that his Sex with Hitler walks it perfectly. Lootmancer is a cyberpunky looking side-scrolling beat-em-uppy thing that we'll all probably be too self-conscious to play because it's look how nice it's looking, but oh, it's lovely. We'll all be too self-conscious to play because we'll not be as good as the guys on YouTube. I do fancy this, but I do fancy getting this and leg sweeping my way all the way to the end. Leg sweeping big giant spiders. I don't know if there is giant spiders in it, but there should be. Can't think of a bad boss fight that I've ever had in any type of video game where it was a giant spider that I was fighting. They're always good. Get a stat boost for patting your cat. I'm definitely getting this. Queer man peering into a rockpool.jpg is exactly why I like indie games, because I like to play games sometimes and go, mate, what have you done here? Why have you done this? What is it and why have you done it? So I just run about with my mad gear on, collecting these collectible things, sometimes that follow you about, and then I take the collectible things into my house and batter them until they turn into furniture in my house. I can't explain why, but I really like that visual effect. It goes all the way back to childhood or something and it's turned into a chair. What and why is this? You can send an email in this, but it takes so long that the guy falls asleep while he's waiting for the printer to print off the document. I don't even know why he's printing them off. Why would you print an email off? What is this and why is this?
Do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time when we first met? Do you remember the time you used to go into arcades and you'd play House of the Dead? You'd be like that to your pals. It's a game about zombies. You're shooting the zombies with your guns, man. It's like it's real. I've always been a big fan of a light gun game, and the minute the House of the Dead remake came up, available for sale now, I thought, I'm pre-ordering that. I'm going to get that day one, and I'm going to check this out. First chapter, tragedy. That's no hint as to what I think of the game in this review, by the way. It's one of the sad... I mean, I like progress as much as the next guy, but it's one of the sad truths, the sad realities of the progress of video games, is that the light gun game has kind of been left in the dust a wee bit, and it's not because of the consoles, it's because of the fucking tellies. A light gun is, you know, to use light guns properly, you need a CRT TV, now, cathode ray tubes. Now, I don't want to get technical with you on this, how this works, but it's today where the wee hole opens up on the gun, then light fires into it and all that. Actually, the lights come out, I don't know how it works, right? But basically, you can't do it in your HD TVs properly, it just doesn't work. Of course. Sophie! Now, that's drama, by the way, innit? Sophie! Jesus. Here's the control scheme here. It's hardly a light gun, is it? Anyway, as I was saying, the Wii was the console that managed to give you a light gun type experience with the Wiimotes and some great games on that. One of the best games ever made, Ghost Squad, was on the Wii. Great fun. So I was very curious as to how they were going to make a game like House of the Dead work on the Nintendo Switch, the best console ever released. Well, House of the Dead, the quintessential light gun game, I'm afraid to tell you that this version of it doesn't play like a light gun game. No, really. No, really. No at all. Light gun games are all about accuracy, point, shoot, bang, bang, bang. If the accuracy doesn't feel right, you calibrate it. Bang, bang, bang. There we go. There we go. It just feels like you're shooting for the hip and it works, right? That's what a light gun game is at its best, and that is not the experience you're going to find when you play this game. That's the initial hump that you need to get over when you play this. Now, I'm very interested reading some of the reviews of this game that came out, because a lot of them were just like, controls don't work, shite. That was basically what a lot of the reviews are. This isn't like a light gun game, can't hack it, shite, don't bother. But this being Consolevania, I decided to go a wee bit deeper, play it a wee bit longer, and try and wrap my head around what is actually happening here. Now, what is actually happening here is you're using the gyroscopes, right? Basically, within the Switch controllers, the Joy-Cons, to try and simulate a light gun type experience. Now, that's just not possible. It's not possible. It's not happening. So what you have to retrain your brain today is, just adapt. There was a time, I would say there was a time when gamers were really good at adapting. They were really good at getting handed really balmy control schemes and making those balmy control schemes their own, right? That used to be a big part of what gaming was all about. Stretching your fingers across keyboards to make something work. Even GoldenEye, I remember when GoldenEye first came out, it was a weird way of controlling with that N64 controller, but we fucking got our heads around it and we did it. We wrapped our heads around it and we did it. And when you play a game like this, I think it's been served a wee bit badly, this remake, by some people who have looked at it, because they've kind of went, it isn't a light gun game, it doesn't work like House of the Dead used to work, it's for the bin. No, let's look at it instead as an attempt to put that old game on the machine as a new experience using the technology that is at hand. And actually, like I said, when you retrain your brain a wee bit, I felt myself starting to enjoy it. This kind of experience is still pretty uncommon. It's pretty uncommon nowadays to play a game like this, just a proper arcade attack, high score type game with a wee bit of challenge. And the challenge is significant actually because of the way you're having to control it now. You're having to be a wee bit more thoughtful with how you're shooting. You're recentering. With one button, you're reloading with another button, and you're having to be just a wee bit more thoughtful with your controls as you're shooting. And actually, once you start to play it a wee bit...
Are you okay?
I was so scared.
Oh. Here we go, boss fight. Once you actually get into it, it starts to work. Look at this guy, man. He's brilliant, isn't he? I've always loved this guy's swagger. Shoot him in the weak point. Now, as you can see here, right, it's possible. It's possible to actually become pretty good at this. This isn't one of my best examples of being good at it, to be fair. But this was an early capture. But actually, you start to get used to it and you start to get good at it. And that's my test of a control scheme. If you can fucking get good at it, how bad can the control scheme be? Aye, it's no like the experience that we had before. Aye, it's not a light gun game because we can't have fucking light gun games as they were the new. We just can't, right? It can't happen. But as an attempt to put that experience onto your console, to enjoy this, beautifully designed action game, a brilliant wee branching, fun action game, and allow you to get good at it, learn the control scheme, get good. I liked it. Like, fuck yous, man, I liked it.
Ding dong. This is Lake, which is a multi-platform narrative, I'd hesitate to say adventure game, but maybe narrative adventure game in which you play as Meredith here. And Meredith is on vacation. Vacation is what Americans call your holidays. What's this woman saying? Look at the scary dead eyes of that cat. Meredith is on vacation. And while she's on vacation, she's decided to do her dad's job, which is deliver the mail, which is a wee bit of an insult to her dad, really, that she's on vacation for her job as a software designer, and she's went, I need to take it easy, why don't I do your job for 2 weeks, because your job's an absolute fucking doddle. The town you're in is called Providence Oaks, which is obviously on that big lake on the left hand side there. They should have called it Loch. And it's 1986 and Meredith hasn't been back to Providence Oaks in many years, and the mechanic of delivering the mail is basically just a device to tell you the story. Obviously a good few of the folk, like this woman here, inventively titled Woman, recognises Meredith from way back when. You might be looking at this game and thinking, there doesn't seem to be much to this, and let me tell you firsthand, there isn't much to this game. There's another cat with mere dead eyes. The whole reason why Meredith is back in the town and in this situation of delivering the mail for a couple of weeks is that in her everyday life she's very run down and disconnected. So what they're going for with Lake is to give you as chill as an experience as they can. Are you alright with me using the word chill Is that alright? Is that allowed? I could put on a pair of sandals if that would make you feel better and say the word chill. There's only about 10 songs on this radio, by the way, it does mean nothing. But on the plus side though, and like, you're not going to believe this, Lady Diana makes an appearance. She's changed her name to Nancy and she's still on the fags, but she seems to be doing quite well for herself. The art style, it's not actually my favourite. It's a wee bit plain and basic, but I do really like this experience. I've parked my van on the street there and it's caused a bit of a tailback because there's no really any such thing as AI in this game, I don't think. It's very easy to poke holes in this game. You have that choice, it does give you that option to quite easily poke holes, and how sometimes the town feels a little bit abandoned. As I say, I'm not the biggest fan of the art style. It is very laid back. It is not going to be for everybody. Thankfully though, it is very relaxing and endearing. Puts me in mind of old cosy television shows such as, for example, Northern Exposure or something like that. Literally all you do in this game is talk to people and drive that van about and deliver the mail, and it doesn't really matter how many things you smash into with that van. You'll never get lifted by the post. You can even crash into the post and you'll not get lifted by the post. That's how laid back this town is. Once you start getting introduced to the characters, you get choices that you can make after work. You can like go out and do things or no go out and do things. I don't sound as if I'm selling this particularly well. I do like it and I'm trying to sell it to you, but it's a wee bit tricky because it's pretty laid back. Is that guy using vinyl? It's 1986. It's 1986, it's fine. Ach, you might just look at this and go, I am not playing this Fisher-Price looking flop. Or you might fancy trying to hook up with a lumberjack for your past. Tom sure does fly. Tom sure does fly. That water's no brilliant, is it? You'd think they'd have fixed that, given the name of the game. I would have liked to have seen a few wee bits here and there in this game getting tightened up. Just a few, like, the way things transition or some conversational things just needed a wee bit of tightening up, in my opinion. But I enjoyed this game. I was ready for this pace of game. Nothing blows up. You just talk and deliver the mail. Sometimes there's a fine line between... exactly, mate.
Between boredom and relaxation.
Welcome to my quick recap of the Nintendo Direct, the mini showcase. Due to COVID-19. Fucking depressing, isn't it? We lived through a pandemic. We're like heroes. Right, let's do an abbreviated scan through all this stuff. I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to and what I'm not looking forward to. Now, we all know Monster Hunter's brilliant. And I'm afraid just at this point I have to admit to myself that it's a game I just play for 15 hours and then stop playing it, but they're brilliant. I wish I was the guy who played it. Good to see this is coming out on the Switch. Glad to see it. More people will get to play it. This looks off its head. Can't wait to play this one. Totally on my street. Look, probably rotten. Day one. Everybody loves Bomberman. It'll be good to sit and play that with my pals. And Mega Man Battle Network was always a favourite of mine on the GBA, so this collection looks good. The filter that they're using looks absolutely horrendous though, I will say that. Looks like shit. Pac-Man World, yeah, looks cute. I love Pac-Man, big Pac-Man fan. This will make me greet, this one. I'm definitely going to greet at this. Like wee drawings of wee animals and an emotional indie. An adventure, I'm going to greet. Monkey Island's back. The art style was fucking horrible. I think it looks like... I don't like this at all. I just think this looks bad. Speaking of looking bad, I know these games are meant to be good, but I just think it's frankly offensive having the horrible rabbids in there with Mario. Horrible character design. This thing looks good, no idea what this is. That looks like something Ryan would like. Fucking all these trains going about. More drawings again, but it's an RPG type thing with a wee bit of that bit for big in it, and a monkey and a calculator. Sonic the Hedgehog, always shite. This looks like it's going to be rotten as well. Surprise, surprise. Here's a Disney game, which will be good for the Waynes. The Waynes will want that. Aye, the Waynes, me, I want it. Live Alive, I'll be picking this up, of course, and we all should, because it's going to be an experience, a blast for the past. Make sure to get this. Big Robot. Now, this one confuses me, because is this a second one? Because I think I've got the one that... Oh, who am I kidding? I'll be getting it. And Minecraft, whatever. Keep it going. Keep melting that thing. Looking forward to this. Ain't Dragon Quest. Rab's going to be aboard, running about warrior. Talk about character designs, beautiful. And this is Harvestella, which is a game that looks like it's been designed Exactly, for your man Rab. Everything your man Rab likes. There's a bit of farming in it. There's a season of death in it. There's a wee character running about, looking nice with a big sword, attacking things. Old school RPG stuff. Nothing more I could ask for. So this is the thing I'm now officially most excited about in the year ahead. Harvestella will be getting this, and it's nice that all the personas are coming out. If only we could live a bit longer so we could play all these games.
Hi guys, this isn't a video game I'm inside at the moment. This is what's referred to as RL, which stands for reality level. Instead of the video game realities we're more used to, which obviously are constructed by computers and human slaves, reality level is constructed by our minds. It's your mind's attempt at an interpretation of what reality is. And sometimes there are things that happen at reality level that are so serious that they unfortunately impact the far more important non-reality levels of video games. For example, this. Because our reality level at the moment is blighted by wars, pandemics and Brexits, the monetary cost of not dying is through the roof. ATM. Unfortunately, a good number of us will have experience with having very little, and I'm no exception. There's been plenty of time in my life where I've had basically fuck all. My life being signing on and no much else. Having just enough dough for a nice big bag of potatoes to deep fry for my dinner. As a side note, just remember, having friends is very expensive. Just a thought. Love is costly. I've been saying this for years, right? New games are bad for the environment. Think of the amount of energy it must take to keep a building full of battery farmed game devs full of microwave soup for years. I'm very confident that if we take a look at the hottest 2022 game releases, I'll bet you I can find some charity shop bargains that are far more affordable and actually just as good as the new games. Splatoon 3's no out yet, but when it comes out it's going to skin you about 50 quid because it's Nintendo and that's what they do, and it looks pretty much the same as the first or the second one, so why don't we instead go to a charity shop and see if we can find a game that's just as good. Here we go, start the party on the PS3. Oh, he's using a move controller. Oh, the move controllers are about 300 quid each, aren't they? We're not going to save any money playing this. It does look amazing though. Something else that's out this year that you probably think looks amazing is Gran Turismo 7. I don't really get the hype of this, but let's go to a charity shop again and get something better.
I hope you're rested and ready, Commander, because as of 0800 hours, you are in control of every satellite, base, tank, airplane, enlisted man, woman, and child in the eastern United States.
This idea started off as a joke, but 50 pence for Command & Conquer Red Alert 2, and look at it, look how fun this is. Even if you don't remember playing this originally when it came out, look how fun it looks. It's 50 pence. Quite simply, I think, something like Command & Conquer Red Alert 2 is about as much fun as you can conceivably have with a game. It's just a cracking big toy. It looks fun, and it is fun, and as I said before, you don't need to have any measure of nostalgia to enjoy this. It's a cracker, no. Still. Plus the cast is unbelievable. It's got Maurice out of Northern Exposure and the guy out of Yon Twin Peaks show.
General, we need you to take us the rest of the way. Next stop, the Kremlin.
As astonishing as I do find Elden Ring, and I very much do find it astonishing, there are a few things I could pick some holes in, and one of which is the horse physics of the game. Sometimes your horse behaves in a very peculiar way, and it makes me wish that there was more authentic horse simulation within Elden Rings. Let's go to a charity shop and see if we can find something that can demonstrate such technology.
What's the matter, sweetheart?
Oh, I had a terrible nightmare. I dreamt that the horses were mistreated on this farm. Who did you buy the house from, Dad?
A law firm. It didn't say who the previous owner was.
It didn't? Well, I'm gonna find out.
For fuck's sake, Dad, you didn't know who the previous owners were? What were you thinking, mate? I'll grant you that £2.50 is a bit steep for a charity show, but you can see yourself that the horse physics in this are absolutely impeccable. I think this is the whole game, you just gotta run this fucking bit up. Here are 3 key tips for making gaming more affordable. Can I just forewarn you that these suggestions are not actually good advice, so please don't listen to them. Number 1. Ignore the concept of time and what year it is. Get yourself into the mindset that everything has literally just this second been released. Now you are in control of the hype. Holy piss, is that a brand new copy of Mary King's Riding Star in a charity shop? That is a bargain. That's just out. Suggestion number 2, take much longer blinks. You can increase the duration of each of your blinks by as much as 1,000%. Massively increasing the lifespan of any game you're playing, thus saving you basically a fortune. Probably, I never worked it out with a calculator, but probably basically a fortune. Tip number 3 for saving money when buying video games is that it's better to have money in the first place, because if you have the money, then you can invest that shit. You can buy 2 of every game that's released, buy a copy to play, and keep a copy still in the shrink wrap and sell it on at a massive profit later, because every game obviously accumulates in value. There you are, you're laughing, the rich get richer. Goodbye. Something that's good about making their own content is just being able to pivot like this. The cost of living chat is too much a downer, it turns out. So let's talk about E3 instead. You remember E3? It was so shite. Every time. It was constantly, consistently worse than you expected it could be, and somehow I miss it. I miss the hype overload. I miss the scale of the event and the coming together more often than not to slaughter what was happening at E3. But it was still a coming together. I got a retweet once for Charlie Brooker during E3 one year. Looking back, I think it was the last time I properly felt alive and valuable. Oh, Charlie. I'm thinking of some of my favourite E3 memories now.
Battle with armies of the more than 1 million troops. 1 million troops. Wow. 1 million troops. Wow. 1 million troops. Wow. 1 million. Wow.
So I am here to talk about Need for Speed Payback. If you guys didn't know, Need for Speed Payback,
Wow.